The Cat with Amazing Hat. While this cat's hat is pretty amazing, the game itself, negative. Before I get all critical though, what this thing has going for it is a simple control scheme and a fast, easy trophy chase. Beyond that, things are pretty much universally bad in this cat-themed Mario clone. And the original Super Mario Bros. Game for the NES is a perfect measure for why this is awful. Take that game, imagine it has only one level, no power-ups, shoddy controls, invisible walls, etc., and you're down the right path for what to expect of the Cat with Amazing Hat. You have a responsive double jump, which you can actually click for a third audio cue, but which doesn't result in a third jump. You're able to jump on one of the two enemy types' heads to kill them, while the other insta-kills you for any manner of contact. There's no indication of how many coins there are to collect, no reason to collect them beyond the trophies, and only a single stage to be conquered. One littered with a high volume of checkpoints, in addition to the ability to skip a large part of the stage from the first screen by jumping at height to the left. It's like getting a small sample of a single slice of pizza, and it tastes of freezer burn. There's an homage on the left side of the map to Mario's warp zones, but it goes nowhere, weakly dropping you through a pipe so you can walk your way through a wall and back into the boring game. Honestly, the only challenge here comes from the poor programming of moving platforms and falling spike traps. Problem with the platforms is that some of them only go halfway to their destination on the first try, so you have to endure the first half of the hazards twice. And the falling spike traps are not timed well, meaning they take a bit of luck or dull waiting around in order to clear. One of the more laughable aspects of this single stage dud is how the terrain changes without anything else about the experience changing. There's no story or even a boss. You just touch a portal at the end of the stage and you're booted back to the start screen. Just a solid mess all around, though I could totally see kitten-loving kids having a mostly good time toying around with this for a short while. Trophy-wise, there's no written guide, but I'd call this a 2 for difficulty, which will take around 10 minutes to clear. Odds are that all you'll have left once you've beaten the game is to die some more. And there's a great checkpoint for dying by holding left about midway through this stage. Assuming you get the coin midway up the raising platform, it's in a cave on the right, getting all coins is essentially impossible to miss. This plat took me a minute or so longer than it should have because the 5 coin trophy didn't pop appropriately on my first playthrough, but it popped without issue once I'd hard rebooted the game. My opinion is that this title's completion rate looks lower than it should be, considering the lack of difficulty or time investment here, because A, the game is trash, B, unlocks are mildly glitchy, and C, the mistimed double spike hazard in the Underdark cave section is asinine. That last bit is what sees the biggest drop off in completion of this game's plat, but an extra minute or 2 of tries will get you past it. Genuinely something almost every gamer can do with minor patience. Anyway, this is a super greasy that's rarer than most games in said genre, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone not simply looking for a higher plat total, and I certainly wouldn't recommend the game. The fact that I've structured part of my life around wasting extra time on writing reviews for this sort of shovelware is honestly embarrassing when it comes to crap like this. I suffer through the shame because sometimes you find some real winners in the bottom of that barrel. Sadly, this ain't one of those times.